Alright, so if you have the Fossil Gen 6 and you're waiting for WearOS 3, you might want to hold off before you download it. I've had it downloaded for a few days now. I'm going to tell you about my experience with it. Let's get it.
I'm about to be on. Been on this mission since I first left home. Packed up my bags like nigga, I'm grown. Told myself to show myself to do no wrongs. Like, I'm about to be on. Been on this mission since I first left home. Packed up my bags like nigga, I'm grown.
So as a lot of you know, last week Fossil released the latest version of WearOS that they have on their Fossil Gen 6. It is WearOS 3.2. I believe the other manufacturers, Samsung and Google, the main ones running WearOS 3 are on 3.5. But with 3.2, there are a lot of things that are just broken or just overall missing from it. So what I'm going to do today is just let you guys know why I think you should wait to download WearOS 3 on your Fossil Gen 6. Okay, so before I get into all the negatives, there are quite a few. I'm just going to talk about the positives. So the biggest thing about WearOS 3 is that there was just a huge cosmetic change. This is probably the biggest change that we've ever seen in a WearOS device. So I just really like how the software just looks on this watch. The notifications looks a lot different, just more updated. I really like the card layout. It's just easier to see your notifications separated there. You get a new quick toggles menu. The quick toggles are just a lot bigger, and just overall it looks better and more modern than it did in WearOS 2.7, which was on the Fossil before. And then I just really like the animation that you get when you swipe between cards or even just press the home button. Everything is just a lot more fluid in WearOS 3 than it was in 2.7. One thing that Google advertised in WearOS 3 was that the battery life would be better. The optimization on the battery would just be a lot better. Personally, I have not seen like a big increase in battery. I'm still getting around a day to a day and a half on my Fossil Gen 6, but a lot of other users are getting like half day. I don't know if I did the setup a little different. I did the download and then I did a factory reset right after I did that download. So I'm not sure if other users did that, but I'm not having issues with a battery drain. Again, a lot of people are going from 1 day to a half day, but I'm still getting a day to a day and a half on the battery. So I can't complain when it comes to battery at all. Okay, so now let's get into some of the issues that me and other users are having with the Fossil Gen 6 on WearOS 3.2. So the major thing, I think the most important thing is the fitness tracking. The syncing is just all the way messed up. I think it's mainly because there's a significant difference between the health tracking with WearOS 3.2 and 3.5, which Google and Samsung are on now. There are just a lot of changes that were made between that, and a lot of those things did not transfer from 3.2 to 3.5. So the major thing that a lot of people are having issues with is Google Sync just completely not working. Google Fit Sync, I'm sorry. So if you do like workouts on your watch or whatever, you can't sync that data over to Google Fit. You can download the Google Fit app and everything. I demonstrated that before. I still get all of my Google Fit data. You can see like my step data right there, 154 steps today. But a major issue is that it's not displaying like anywhere else, and that's including in the Fossil app. So this is the Fossil app. Everything is updated to the latest version, but as you can see, my data is completely blank for the day, even though 154 steps is showing on the watch. So this could be a major issue just because typically the apps that you're able to sync your like fitness data with just show a lot more data than the actual watch. So that's the main reason why a lot of people are pretty upset about the health syncing not working completely. Again, for me personally, I am able to see like this information on the watch. Like you can see on my watch face, you can see how many steps I took today. But again, it's not transferring over to any app, including Fossil's like native app, which I thought it would work on. But I feel like that's like an absolute deal breaker. That's a basic thing. All fitness trackers should have like an app compatible, and the data should be going over perfectly fine. That's something that's broken in WearOS 3 on this Fossil Gen 6. All right, so another main thing missing is the Google Assistant support. So Google Assistant is something that was included on a lot of different Wear OS watches before in the past, like years ago, like even since like I'd say like 2018. Even those watches had Google Assistant and it worked pretty well. Now on this Fossil Gen 6 in 2022, it's not working, and in my opinion that's completely unexcusable. I had the same issue with Samsung and the Galaxy Watch 4 Classic. I believe it has something to do with like the different software versions of Wear OS 3. Again, this is running Wear OS 3.2, which is not the latest version. 3.5 is. So yeah, I just really don't think that that's a good idea to release something and not include Google Assistant. They do include Alexa, which works pretty fast actually. Let me just show you that right now. See, let me tap. Tell me the weather. And yeah, that's actually really fast. I don't have an issue with Alexa. I just prefer Google Assistant, and I know a lot of other people do, especially on a watch made with Google software. I just think not including Google Assistant is just absolutely inexcusable, and the fact that you even have to download a Google Assistant app now for like the Samsung watches irritates me. So just you could just imagine how much I'm irritated with not having Google Assistant at all. Okay, so I'm gonna cover one more thing that I noticed just in my personal use. It is a bug. Whenever I reset or my watch powers off, most of the settings that I set just reset to like whatever the default was. So I'm gonna tell you why that's an issue for me personally. I do a lot of things in Wear OS to preserve battery life. For example, one of those things is I usually turn off the Wi-Fi. So in connectivity, you go to Wi-Fi, and then I keep this turned off. As you can see, it's on right now. I like to turn that off because it just saves more battery. Yeah, your watch isn't always searching for a Wi-Fi signal when you turn it off. When it's on, it tries to connect to like whatever Wi-Fi your phone is on, and that just takes extra battery. Another thing that I do to preserve battery life is turning off the always on display. So when you go to set display, this always on screen, I turned it off, but whenever I reset my watch, it comes on. And I noticed it like yesterday. I think I was just like chilling at home, and I like looked at my watch, and I noticed that like the always on screen was on, and that's just something I never have on. I complain about it a lot because when I'm looking at my watch, I like to just like look at it with like my wrist. That's why I prefer using tilt to wake. That's in the gesture settings, and yeah, tilt to wake right there. I just turned it back on, but I really don't like the fact that all this resets every single time my watch dies, especially if the watch only lasts the day anyway. So that's something I have to like manually adjust every day. I'm just not a fan of that. All right guys, so I'm gonna wrap this video up. I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, I really don't recommend downloading Wear OS 3 on your Fossil Gen 6 if you have the option right now, just mainly for those 3 reasons that I included. The fitness data not going over, that's just unacceptable in my opinion. Most people buy these smartwatches to help track their fitness, and most of that fitness data is stored on a companion app of some sort, and you can't view any of that data on your phone right now with the Wear OS 3, in my experience anyway. The second reason, missing Google Assistant, I think that's an absolute deal breaker. I feel that every single Wear OS watch should have Google Assistant. I don't know what this is with Wear OS 3 and not being able to support like Google Assistant natively, but I'm just not a fan of it. I complained about it on the Galaxy Watch 4 Classic, and I'm going to complain about it now on the Fossil Gen 6. Just not a fan of that. And then the final reason, the settings issue. Again, I have things that I like on my Wear OS watch because it helps preserve a ton of battery life, and when that resets every day, it's just super convenient just having to manually go in and adjust all these settings, maybe even forgetting something while going through that process. So yeah, I'm not gonna hold you guys any longer. Again, I appreciate you for watching this video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments, and again, thanks for watching this video.